Good morning, good morning, good morning. You guys ready to rock and roll? Look at this. Look at that. That's a lot. So, and look at this. And look. So, don't get mad at me. I'm trying to get to you as soon as I can, guys. So hang in there. I really appreciate you all and appreciate what you're all doing. It's fantastic. I love your comments. I love to see what you're doing on yourselves. I think that I think Kelly's doing a good job. Wonder-wise, come on and let's enjoy the future here. Going to have a lot of fun. Going to learn a lot of things, and really going to heal a lot of people. That's good, isn't it? All right, so let me tear into this here and get to your questions further, because I might have all morning with you. So if you can bear me, I'll be with you for a couple hours here or more, because I think we have a lady, we haven't got any paperwork on her, and she's from overseas somewhere, and so I don't know yet. Okay, so I want to kind of polish up here on some things, and then we'll go forward. This is from Jacqueline, and let me see here. She was diagnosed with hypothyroidism when I was 12, and she's 22. She was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian failure. Basically, she has little tumors or cysts on the ovaries. Now, what system does cysts and tumors develop from? The lymph system. We could say pretty much the interstitial fluid, the fluid that flows around all the cells, is basically what most tumors and cysts are made of. 25% blood, 75% lymph. Now, a lot of tumors are predominantly lymph. There's a gnarly website Brenda found. Oh, man, this will gross you out. I won't even tell it to you. But there's this big cyst on this guy's back. Oh, that was gross. That was gross when she was cutting it. And, oh, that was bad. That even grossed Chris out. And Chris watches those chainsaw cut your head off videos. It's like, oh, man, that got him. So I was real happy to see that got him. Not much gets him that way. You'd be surprised. Premature menopause. Well, looky here, premature menopause. The controlling of menopause is controlled by the pituitary and the ovaries, of course. Pituitary controlling the ovaries. So here we see a little thyroid up here. We see an ovarian failure here. So we could link this to one's pituitary gland. You know, you'd have to do a little more fishing and stuff. If you have a camera, you can see it right off in the eye. But this is, the polycystic problem is a lymphatic problem, which goes right back to the kidneys and the adrenal glands again, and the failure to filter the lymph system appropriately. But when you get into the premature menopause and the hypothyroidism, that's an endocrine gland issues. We're going probably up to the pituitary here, my guess is. I quit taking medicines and went raw in February. Good deal. This blood work shows normal thyroid levels. Good deal. Blood work, though, is very inaccurate in determining thyroid levels and stuff. Do your basal temperatures under your arm. Like one gentleman wrote in, his was 95. Horrible. But check your basal temperatures under your arm before you get out of bed in the morning. They should be, in today's world, give me 97.5, but 97.8 is considered low normal, 98.2 high-end normal. But reality is, in today's world, mid-97s, you know, that would be good. The iron levels are low. There's the adrenals again. Hematocrit is low. Again, by cleaning up your body, cleaning up the liver, cleaning up the spleen, cleaning up the kidneys, and moving the lymphs, getting the adrenals up, you'll change the morphology of your blood cells. And this is true in sickle cell anemia. This is true in all these types of irregular red blood cell issues where iron doesn't carry well. You know, eating an enzymatic-rich diet helps to break up the blood cells from clustering or following each other like choo-choo trains. You know, all these things come and change all this around. Bilirubin was also slightly high. She was jaundiced when she was born, so you know immediately you had GI tract problems, and you're seeing a lot of this liver gallbladder problems in these babies. Remember I told you the poor young lad that he couldn't digest his high-fat, high-protein, crazy formulas, and so they tied his stomach around his esophagus to stop him from throwing up. That's the illustrious AMA for you. Keep plugging away on the cleaning out the system. I have more energy now than I had before. I have opinion to get oxygen therapy. You can have some oxygen therapy. I don't care. I mean, you know, sit yourself in a hyperbaric chamber every once in a while. I mean, that would be good. She's 22 and unemployed. I get so many of these, and I do appreciate that. Try to get the Heal All tea, 3-lung tea, really start detoxifying that way. Hopefully in the near future we'll have a source of income that will help those that have no money. This would be the ultimate, all these billionaires running around giving money to ridiculous charities that don't do anything. Hi, Robert. I forgot to say in the last minute that I am very thirsty. Same lady, Jacqueline. I don't know if I correspond with anemia, but I drink lots of water and consistently feel like I am dehydrated. Well, because you are. You are. You're very acidic. Go back to the jaundice thing. Your lymph system is very impacted in your GI tract and in your liver. Probably head to toe, sweetheart. So, I mean, because we're looking at inklings of issues in the pituitary, down in the ovaries, of course. So, really systemic lymphatic problems. So, just start detoxing. Really get after those kidneys and adrenals, and do the best you can. When you don't have the money, you use teas. And again, we're trying to set up ways to help people. But you can always do the raw. You can always do the teas. You can always do things like that. Contact Jennifer if you're having very serious financial trouble and see if anything she can do. You know, we're limited in being able to help people like that. And we're already kind of working on kind of a thin margin, and then you see our crew here. We don't charge for their assistance. So, you know, there's a lot of wealthy people out there that need to start giving to help some people. Create some good karma. I thought that was interesting. Casey Anthony's prosecuting attorney the other night last night was talking about he believes in karma. I like that. Any suggestions? This is from Vigan Ramamgu. Any suggestion for those like me who have strong allergies to poison ivy and oak? Well, when you start detoxifying, don't freak out if you re-experience poison ivy if you had it before. I've seen this many times. First time freaked me out. My client taught me a lesson. She had poison ivy popping out all over. She said, "Oh no, this is the detox. I've had this in the same places before," and I hadn't even related detox to pulling these acids out of these tissues from the plant. So, yeah. I mean, this just shows the lymph system. Whenever a spider bite, an ant bite, a bee bite, poison, you know, acids on oils from plants and stuff irritate you that much, then you know you have heavy lymphatic problems. Categorize it under allergies, if you will. It's still a lymphatic problem. That's your main immune system, and when the lymph system's backed up, boy, you're there. And it's kind of like a tank being pumped in with more pressure than it can handle. You know, it just really is a problem. So, sweetheart, kick it up there, moving your lymph system. She was, they always want to give her steroids. The problem with the steroids, as you know, is you'll start losing your adrenal glands. You lose your adrenal glands, and you lose your kidneys more, and then your kidneys back up your lymph even more, and it's a vicious circle. And these guys just don't get it. They're trying to help. I respect that. But sometimes help, ignorant help, can make things so much worse. Also, what causes appendix? And this is a twofold question because I had another person ask me about the appendix. Keep in mind the appendix is part of the lymph system to the colon, and this would tie in perfect with you with the heavy lymphatic problems here, and you're having some appendix issues. I'll say this. Someone asked me about whether you have your appendix removed or not. Well, I put it this way: if your appendix is the point of decay, and basically it's turning into soup, which is your lymph node. It's a big lymph node, and it holds acid waste. And acid waste can break down the lymph nodes just like it can break down any other tissue in the body. The poor lymph nodes aren't free from that. That's why the benefit of bacterium. And then when you see things like this, a lot of people are subjected to a lot of antibiotics killing systemic bacteria, which is insane. And so then you start having, the lymph nodes have no way to clean themselves. And of course, if there isn't a movement and a filtration of this fluid, then you're going to see stagnation of acids, and then we see acidosis, dehydration, and then inflammation, of course, and then the destruction of tissue. And that's exactly what's going on with the appendix. If your appendix isn't that bad and highly inflamed, get into cleaning up the bowels and the lymph system. This is about the lymph system. So you've got kidneys, you get your adrenals, you get your stomach and bowel, lymphatic 1 caps, if you can tolerate them with that much inflammation, and pull all this out and get your lymph moving out of that appendix and let it heal. If not, you know, sometimes surgeries are very necessary. I don't know what to say about it. Sometimes you just got to go under the knife. It's just the nature of where man is today. So that's where you really protect yourself under the knife, because they're going into a very acidic, very inflamed area, and that's where you're going to see scar tissue adhesions growing in those areas because they're highly inflamed, they're very weak, and the body has to support that tissue. So it's going to build a lot of additional tissue in that area to support that area. It's just the nature of nature. It strengthens itself by getting rid of its weaknesses. So this is the process of detoxification as well. It's building strength by getting rid of the garbage and the weaknesses. So you have to go the same route here no matter what. And you guys are going to find the simplicity of this is staggering. Almost amazing to me that the link here to everything deals with the one side of chemistry that's the corrosive side, and the one major fluid that deals with this side of chemistry. There's no question that the diet can tear the blood a new one, but that's easy to remedy. Lisa, yeah, get into your GI tract there, sweetheart, and really got to kick up. Expect some healing crisis there, sweetheart. Poison ivy could pop out all over. You know, the steroids pretty much just locked all that in you and said, okay, you know, I'll be back. But what happens is when you open this door, honey, boom, you might want to go slower on the lymphatic formulas and a little more on the kidney formulas at first and see if you can get those kidneys opened up before it has to explode too much, and maybe you'll be lucky and it won't. So, but just don't freak out if it does, because this is part of the issue here. And some people are so lymphatically backed up, you have to realize that they could explode almost, you know, with this lymph. So sometimes it's easier to go slower at first with these people, especially if you're not full of cancer and you're not dying, or you're not, you know, dealing in extreme pain and stuff where you really got to get up on the horse and run. So really, might go a little slower first. It's up to you. If you're going to honk down the road,